What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks video. And today I want to talk about the changes which come to the game in 2020. Looking towards the future. Because this is an article which should have been released today. There was a big Q&A on the Russian server apparently with the devs and with some questions. And Eekeeboo gave us a sneak peek at all those changes already. I did luckily make screenshots of the different topics so we can have a look at them and hope they will stay the same until tomorrow, because there are some very important things, otherwise I have to redo this video. Before we go into those different topics, I quickly want to say something, because I do think I said in last video something a little bit wrong, which steered some confusion. And that is the fact that, for example, you will not get blueprint fragments as a compensation for example, researching the T-62A. You will only get the blueprint fragments back if you have not fully researched the vehicle. For example, the T-62A, as far as I know, needs 12 blueprint fragments to fully be researched. If you have 11 of them and 1.9 hits, those 11 blueprint fragments will be split up again into national and universal blueprint fragments. If, however, the tank is fully researched, you do not get any compensation for that. That is how I understood it and how Eekeeboo should have said it on the stream. Again, if I said it wrong, let me know in the comment section below and I will ping this comment. However, let's jump in. Again, Eekeeboo gave us a little sneak peek of all the changes. Once again, quickly want to see if the website was updated. And nope, nothing. It's still not here, the article. So, the first thing we can talk about is going to be Crew 2.0. However, I do want to point out, I'm a little bit disappointed. This little topic is very, very sparse, in the sense of, we don't really get any idea. We don't really get any information. It's just nothing really. We are still waiting for more information, and they're only saying test will launch around summer of 2020. At this point, you will have the opportunity to try out the redesigned crew, and if you like it, we will continue the work on appropriate conversations on compensation mechanics. So it really does sound like Wargaming wants to completely redo all those things. They also say that this will be tested once again on a sandbox server, meaning there is a high likelihood that if it's not going to suit well with the players, Wargaming is going to cancel those changes altogether or doing heavy alts on those, as we could see from the past. Because Wargaming once again, as you know, said, you know what, it wasn't the right way with the HJey nerfs or HJey changes, with the premium round changes. We're going to scrap those and focus on rebalancing the tanks for real Cs, which you're going to have a look at in just some minutes. But again, information's a little sparse. I do hope we get more information soon about Crew 2.0, because let's be honest, we still need more information. I want to know, do the crew members lose or finally gain the ability to not forget how they used to drive a train, not a train, obviously a tank. But because at the moment it's a little bit annoying when you think about, you had the AMX-30, for example, then you go to the AMX-30B and suddenly your crew is like, I've never driven that AMX-30. What happened to him? Seriously, it's like when I would be driving my mother's FW and VW, and then go Volkswagen, and then go to my dad's BMW, which I also drive sometimes, and be like, I can't drive it anymore, I simply forgot. Come on. That's not how humans work. We are sometimes stupid, but not that stupid. Next up, we have that Equipment 2.0 is under its way. Also, it will be tested in summer, most likely with Crew 2.0. Maybe we even get a new update, which is going to be called 2.0. But yeah, they don't want to make radical changes to the existing system, but instead work on solutions that will be as comfortable as possible for our players. Equipment 2.0 will likely be attached to classes and will be available for preliminary testing in the sandbox server sometime this summer. That is interesting. It gives a lot up to speculation. Again, it's very vaguely written. It could mean that, for example, when they want to make it more streamlined or more attached to classes, that, for example, the TT class will get a special thingy which allows it to aim quicker or even more quicker because you don't have a turret, for example, I don't know. Or maybe the light tank class will get an improved optics because they are scouts in the end. Heck, things like this could in theory come into the game. Or Wargaming simply decides to say, you know what, camo nets are not for heavy tanks and going to completely ban them. Those are just some guesstimations, estimations, guesses I have. Again, it's sadly very vaguely written, so we have to have a lot of interpretation work for this. However, I do think that Crew 2.0 as well as Equipment 2.0 could have a huge impact in the game in a positive sense, especially the crew rework. I still consider the crews of World of Warships being much more user-friendly and noob-friendly. However, they all can be a little bit boring when it comes to builds. Point is, in World of Tanks, it's exactly the same thing, where you have to focus on Brothers in Arms as well as Sixth Sense as your two main core skills. So yeah, will be interesting to see what Wargaming comes up with. I do hope they take liberties from World of Warships and even consider the idea that if a crew was already trained on one tank, don't forget it. Seriously guys, maybe look at your competitor, War Thunder, where they have this system already in place, and it makes it much more fun to go back to some tanks and just play them, because you don't have to grind an additional crew. Personally, I think you don't need to monetize crew as much as they are right now. Focus on skins, maybe give some small bonuses to those skins, because this is a great way to keep the health of the game in a positive way. Next up, we have Ranked Battles 2021. Those are interesting. They once again are thinking we are going to give you 3 engaging seasons. Depending on your results across all 3 seasons, you can earn the ultimate reward, another tier 9 tank. The name, the class, the nation, characteristics are all top secret and will be published at a later date. Once again, I do hope that Wargaming is at the first season is going to stop dangling the carrot in front of our nose and simply say, boom, that's the tank you can get. Because then we as content creators can give you exactly the ideas and our opinions on this tank, if it's actually worth it to play or not. Second, and this is actually very, very interesting, based on your feedback, we slightly revisit some gameplay mechanics to get you more involved in playing in leagues and not in the divisions. This is a great thing. I do think we should skip the focus from leagues to more division gameplay, as it is in League of Legends. There you have your qualifiers and then you go up in the leagues, and not really in divisions. Well, okay, it's also called divisions, but they have bronze, iron, bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond, master rank, grandmaster, and challenger, you know? It's much more interesting, in my opinion, to fight in those leagues rather than having to grind through a qualifier. So yeah, to do this, special daily missions will be available for those who qualified for leagues. We'll also rework the mechanics of earning bonus battles and shorten your journey through each division. Again, I do think this is very, very good, because the players should fight in the leagues and not in the divisions, because in division it's sometimes just a battle spamming grind fest where you just have to have more than 50% chevron retention rate. So, you saw already, I made a little mistake. I wanted to show you some ideas of what tier 9 tanks we could be getting for the upcoming tree. And I got some ideas for this upcoming ranked season, one of which could be the youuuu 03 Alt 3, a Swedish tier 9 medium, which, well, it is planned to be more of a sniper medium rather than being like the youuuu 16 balls to the walls with its great turret. Next up, we also have another tank, which is a heavy tank, and it's the Object 752. You may or may not already have heard of it. It's the first real, Russian autoloader with an oscillating turret, which looks incredibly strong. However, they did nerf it significantly in the last iteration. Looks very, very interesting, however, and again, oscillating turret. These plates are 300mm thick, so very, very tough turrets, but good cupolas with 160mm of armor. Then, I'm not entirely sure if this tank is already put into the game files. It could be called the Concept 1B, which, as far as I know, is an American tank. Well, it is an American tank based on the M60 Starship chassis. Looks very, very awkward. Sadly, there are no informations about this tank yet in the game files, so we have to do with those two tanks. And obviously, don't forget, tanks like the Stridswagen K may or may not also be part of this reward pool. We do not know yet. So yeah, this is when it comes to ranked battles. Next up, vehicle rebalance. Sorry if it's a little bit not as crisp as it should be, but this is most important. Again, because Wargaming decided to halt right now ideas for Sandboxer with doing the premium rebalancing, they said, you know what, we once again focus on doing all the other tanks again. And we promised E-100 and IS-7 have to be rebalanced, and there we go. Tomorrow, we should be getting more information about those changes with the E-100 line, with the IS-4 line, and the E5 line. Tomorrow being the 25th of March. It's the presumable date, or the date which may or may not should be planned to be coming out the informations. And I think it will be very, very interesting to see how those tanks will be changed and what exactly will be changed. I myself think that most of those tanks only really need small changes to be made efficient. Or for example, E-100 definitely needs more turret front armor, because it's just saddening to see how easily it's get penetrated by gold spammers, you know. And the IS-4, in my opinion, needs better gun stats in general and maybe a little bit more DPM, because at the moment the gun feels very, very underwhelming. E5 is a little bit hard to judge what they want to do with it. Some people suggested remove the cupolas, other people suggested more mobility, which also makes sense in my opinion, to branch a little bit up from the Super Conqueror. And finally, Wargaming said they also aim to consistently adjust wheeled vehicles to stop them from being more effective than other tanks, or rather to stop them more effectively when they are hit. So Wargaming will probably come up with a solution that if a wheeled boy will get its wheels damaged, that they may or may not have a hard time recover, because at the moment it's a little bit hard to say that they can't really recover when they got hit in their wheels. One thing I will hope to see is that if somebody destroys a wheel or damages a wheel, that you, as the player which damaged this wheel, will get a bonus in the same sense of if you would have detracked this person when it gets shot at. Like spotting works when you detrack somebody. That would be great. And lastly, don't forget, this list is not complete, and it's possible that other tanks will be added to it in the future. Will be interesting to see what other tanks will be added. I am myself looking very forward to seeing what is going to happen with the E-100, with the ES-4, and with the IS-4, and the T110E5. Let me know in the comment section your predictions. Again, stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be back with all the information you will need. And lastly, we have the 10th anniversary of World of Tanks. Here we have some major things. It's going to be 2020. Wargaming will make a big party. If coronavirus will let this happen, we don't know yet. But yeah, it's a huge amount of other game content for you. They're working on it all year long, most likely, and the anniversary will consist of 5 thematic stages, each of them corresponding to certain milestones of World of Tanks, which have left their mark in the hearts of players. Veterans will smile and remember the good old days. Novices will be surprised to learn some curious facts about our project. And together, the 5 stages of the anniversary will demonstrate how much World of Tanks has changed and grown over the past 10 years. Celebrations will culminate in August 2020, and sure enough, there will be plenty of pleasant surprises during this month. A feast of special gifts, a reward galore await each and every player, so be sure to party with us. And the celebrations will start in April. Maybe even with April Fool's Day. Maybe we get once again a mode for April Fool's Day. So, 5 thematic stages. What could this be? In my opinion, most likely we'll get back to the good old days where we have classic server, maybe the server where just recently the things were introduced, the physics were introduced, where you finally could drive over clips and stuff, but can't really flip yourself yet. Will be interesting to see what Wargaming has in store to us. I'm looking forward to it because, again, I'm not playing this game since 10 years. I'm playing this game since 2012, for 8 years now. I recently had my personal birthday in the game, like the account birthday. So yeah, interesting really. It's really interesting. We'll see what Wargaming is going to have planned for us. And that is basically it. One final thing. We have no information about what new tanks could come to the game. That is interesting. I know from last year they said something about Italian auto-reloading heavy tanks. No information about this in this topic. And then will we get Japanese tank destroyers like they're in World of Tanks Blitz? And Wargaming said there are 3 trees which will be coming. What will be the third one? If we say that the Japanese jacked tank destroyer branch will be the second tree with the Italian auto-reloader heavy tank tree. You know, there are still a lot of questions open. I personally didn't really like what Wargaming showed us. Again, it's too vague, especially with equipment and crew 2.0. That's what we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Don't forget to subscribe for tomorrow's big blast when it comes to those informations. Hype, hype, hype. And as always, good luck and stay safe and stay at home. Cheers, guys.